had an Eastern, and then I had the stock giant,
Uh-huh.
which is really, really thin. Seems like it's
Just penetrating into your
Yes.
wrist. Yeah.
yes.
Too thin.
Just remember to speak up a little bit. And
Is that a GoPro? Or what is that?
this is a DJI.
DJI.
Similar to GoPro.
How small it is. It's like a spy camera.
Those spy cameras are small.
You know what? You guys are live.
We're live?
You're live to the world right now. So.
Oh, nice. We're on TV.
Again,
You are. You're
this is too much exposure for me. I'm used to this.
You're gonna get
You-
used
you
to it, man.
deserve
You're
it,
gonna
though.
be like YouTuber and YouTube star, you know. I'm gonna throw us live on Instagram as well. Oh, look, we're live there too.
Nice.
So
He knows all this techie stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
anything.
somebody has to.
I'm
Man.
from the 1800s, and he's a young kid, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with all the kids and what they're doing and stuff. So we're streaming live on our YouTube channel right now. So
Nice.
this Instagram thing is just kind of a backup, I guess. My battery's probably gonna run dead during this thing because my phone's gonna die. But yeah, we're here. Ari,
Yeah.
who's here with us?
Jonas is here.
Yeah, Jonas from the Philippines, who is just done just got done with Unbound.
Just got done with Unbound 200, and we had him here a little over a week ago, and he came to visit, and we became friends, and we wished him a good ride, and he went out there and conquered the 200 miles, and here we are. He's back at the shop. So, yeah, we want to know what happened over there, how the weather was, your bicycle, how it held up to the conditions. How were your expectations, and did you like the landscape? I mean, there's a million questions, you know. So I guess first of all, how did you feel that day?
Oh, okay. That day, woke up around 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
just to have that 1 hour preparation,
Mhm.
which I normally consider before a race.
Nice.
I ate a couple of apples and
Mhm.
piece of banana
Mm-hmm.
and electrolyte. So I was feeling really good. I
Mm-hmm.
was feeling okay. I did a couple of shakeout rides the day before, and
Nice.
a couple of days before.
Mhm.
So my legs are really okay. I had a feel of the gravel roads at the start, of course, which is really flat.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually ready for the day.
Good.
I was feeling.
Did you have any nervousness going into the
Of
race?
course, yes.
Yeah.
I always have.
Yeah.
Always nervous.
Yeah. Well, that's a very, very big accomplishment to fly with your whole family all the way from the Philippines and come here and then drive all the way to Kansas and then tackle a very difficult course without ever having been in Emporia before in your life, right?
Yes, yes.
So you had no idea what you were getting into, right?
That's right. That's
Only
most
through
of the worry.
photographs and videos and what are reports from other people, but that's one thing. But being there is a completely different thing. So yeah, we're very proud to know that you were able to finish. So what about
and be just a little part of it?
Yeah.
Right, Ari?
yeah,
Like just
yeah,
you know,
just
it's-
being part of your experience, you
Yeah.
know. We're a little shop here, and you came in and to visit, and yeah, this is awesome, you know. What about your bike? How did your bike function?
Okay. Actually, I was really happy that I had the best mechanical luck
Mm-hmm.
on that day,
Mm-hmm.
except for that my front tire is slowly losing air.
Okay.
That's about it. Although, if you consider Garmin, is this mechanical or
Yeah.
digital or electronic?
digital, I think. Electronic, digital, a little bit
Yeah.
of everything, right?
That's where I encountered the problem.
Yeah.
But overall, the bike.
So with the
function well.
tire, obviously you're running tubeless, and you have good tires. The Pirelli Cinturato tires.
Yeah.
So did you have to plug the tire or do anything, or were you just adding a little bit of air and kept going?
Yeah, I never had to do any plugs.
Okay.
It's just that every time I would go to the checkpoint, I would check the tire pressure.
Uh-huh.
I actually have a list. I prepared a list of
Oh,
things
nice.
that I need to do.
Nice.
Those things that I must do and the optional things,
Mhm.
stuff. So one of those things that I need to check, of course, is the tire.
Yeah, tire pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, the tire pressure. So
Streaming live there right now.
in my during the checks,
Continue to
in
do
the first checkpoint,
Mhm.
using a ladder.
second checkpoint,
Mhm.
the initial pressure is 25.
25 in the front,
Yes, in the front, 27 in the back.
27 pounds in the back. Very good.
And then I remember it was around 18 when I got the first checkpoint,
Mm-hmm.
and consistently around 18 or 17 on the second.
Oh, okay. It's leaking a little bit.
Baking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And I also noticed that you double wrapped your handlebar on top.
Yeah.
The bottom is regular wrap,
Yeah.
single
Hope
layer,
that works.
and the top is a double layer.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I decided to do this before leaving
Mhm.
because I did a couple of test runs here.
Yeah.
Normally, coming from the triathlon background, I
Mhm.
have tried that aero position.
Yeah.
But then when I tried it here with the new handle, my arms are sleeping.
Oh, they were falling asleep.
Yes.
Okay.
And extra wrapping would give me extra padding.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
doing that.
So that did work out for you then, having
Yeah.
the wrap. Okay. And did you ever have to lubricate your chain
Yes.
for the race?
Yes, that's also part of the list that
Uh-huh.
I need to do. It was really muddy when I arrived at the first checkpoint.
Okay.
Because we went there Wednesday. It was raining really hard.
Yeah.
And then Thursday morning it was raining. And then it's only Friday, late Thursday, when the sun was shining.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday it was okay.
Nice.
The sun's really actually doesn't have any clouds during Saturday.
Wow.
So, but still muddy in some parts.
Mud in some parts.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of dusty parts,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
during the race.
That's right. So when I went, when I came by the first checkpoint,
Mhm.
I was, I subscribed to a support crew
Mhm.
aside from my family.
Mhm.
The support crew has all the food that you need, toilets, and everything. They also had this hose, pressure hose.
Pressure hose.
So they wipe. They hose down the bike.
Oh, they hosed it down.
Yes, they hose it down.
Oh.
So it was sort of clean.
Yeah,
And then
yeah. You got
after
most
that-
of the mud off of it.
Yes,
Okay.
I got the mud off, and then after that, I lubricated the cheese.
Nice. Did you go? What kind of lubricant did you use? Did you use you were running a dry lube, right?
Yes.
You had waxed your chain before.
No, it was a new chain.
Okay.
That's actually I got this before going to the US, so it's a new chain. So I didn't do any lubrication before the race.
Mhm.
It's only after the race.
Okay.
During the race when I do it. Yes, I do have the dry.
Dry lube. Okay. Yep. That seems to work pretty good because it repels a lot of the dust off of the chain. So. And what about your nutrition? Did you go with gels or what was your nutrition? Was it a liquid nutrition or?
So for my nutrition, I did carry
Hydration pack?
hydration pack.
Oh, nice.
So with less than 2 liters,
Mhm.
around 1.8.
Mhm.
So it's a Tailwind. The product is
Oh, Tailwind. Okay.
So it's a combination of electrolytes and carbohydrates.
Nice.
So I consume 1 bottle
Mhm.
per hour, and then 1 gel
Mhm.
every 45 minutes,
Mhm.
and then choose some Haribo,
Yeah.
electrolytes.
Some other stuff too. Some solid stuff.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Very good. So How was the how did you like the terrain? How did you like the gravel there? Have you seen gravel like that before?
Okay.
The chunkiness of the gravel, or the hills, or what called your attention the most when you went there? Once you leave Emporia and you get out into the field, what did you think when you were out there?
Yeah, when I remember when I got interested in gravel,
Mhm.
uh, I imagined it would be the open gravel roads.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what is there in Emporia.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I.
Oh, you had a vision.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's just that the gravel races in the Philippines, we don't have that,
Yeah.
of course, that much space.
Yeah.
And gravel races would be a combination of unpaved roads,
Yeah.
inner roads,
Yeah.
and then mostly trails,
Mhm.
single track,
Single track.
track,
Uh-huh.
and even sand. Because,
Sand.
most of the races are newer part of Manila.
Okay.
And one of the places where we normally go is Clark Air Base.
Clark Air Base
Yes.
in the
In the
Philippines.
Philippines. Yes, and this one's affected by the eruption of
Volcanoes.
volcano
Yeah.
back in the 90s,
Yeah.
and there's still sand all over the course.
Oh,
And
nice.
the course would go through.
Wow.
So it's a combination of all this.
Yeah, I would like to see some photos of that area. So when you go there next time, send us some photos.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that,
sure, sure.
of that area. That's
But
awesome.
the terrain in Emporia is really good. It's what I envisioned. It's
Yeah.
really something that I would love to do again and
Yeah.
over and over, especially running through those inner gravel roads.
Yeah.
And I
Like Little Egypt, the Little Egypt,
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's okay.
where it's more closed and there's trees and stuff,
Yes.
and then you have the wide open prairie area, double track,
Yes.
sometimes with flowers on the side.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's very beautiful there.
Yeah, the tricky part would be on the divide road.
Mhm.
It's kind of muddy
Mhm.
and rocky.
Mhm.
Then there are descending portions. It's really steep.
Yeah,
And kind of narrow as
Yeah.
compared to the other road.
yeah.
Little Egypt offered chunky
Mhm.
rocks and then very steep.
Steep hills.
Although it's short,
Yeah.
it's kind of difficult to navigate
Yeah,
still.
yeah. It's challenging, that's
Yes,
for
it
sure.
is challenging.
And how did you feel when you were riding? Did you ride with other people, or did you spend most of the time by yourself?
Okay, initially I situated myself
Mhm.
between the 12 hours and the 14 hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I inserted myself.
Mhm.
And then when we started rolling, the guys are really fast.
Oh yeah,
Initially, we were traveling around 30 plus kilometers per hour,
yeah,
more than 20 miles per hour.
yeah,
I had to back off
yeah,
because I understand that's not my pace.
yeah.
And there's so much road to cover, so I had
Yeah.
to back off. But I finished my first hour at around almost 29 kph,
Wow.
which is above my.
Yeah, almost 20 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Almost
yeah,
20
yeah.
miles an hour. That's really fast.
That was fast, and the guys are really fast.
Mhm.
The guys are
Mhm.
just by the second hour, I actually covered around 52, 54 kilometers already.
Mhm.
Again, that's not what I planned to do, what I intended to do. So I had to control. And I let the guys, or the groups, faster groups, stronger guys.
Yeah, pass by you.
Yes.
Mhm.
But most of the time, you would be lonely. Actually.
Yeah,
You would see people in front of you, behind you.
Yeah.
but you'll be riding.
you have your own space.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're extremely competitive and you're in a pack group and you're pace lining. I've noticed that when I raced over there that you're just by yourself or maybe with one other partner that you travel there with, so there is plenty of space for everybody to ride if you want to, because this year, I'm not sure, there was 4,000 plus people there, I think, right?
They estimated around 5,000, but for the 200 miles, I think the start this would be around 1,000.
Yeah.
Around that.
Yeah, altogether there was 4,000 riders that went down there with their families and support crew and everything. So there was a lot of people there. So sometimes riders think, oh, it's going to be crowded. There's not going to be enough space for me out there. But within 200 miles, there's a lot of space.
There's so much.
Yeah. So everybody has a chance to just be with themselves and then think of what you're doing and just plugging along. So did you encounter any adversities? You told me a little bit about your Garmin that ended up dying.
Yeah, actually, we went towards the north, so it's out and back, heading towards the north Emporia. And so it would be facing north initially and then turning west and south and east. During the day, the winds are coming from the west, northwest. So half of the time, we were battling headwinds.
Headwinds, yeah.
Headwinds.
And out there's nothing to cut the wind.
That's right. So initially at the start, I wasn't used to the cold. It's cold for me. Coming from the Philippines. Right?
Sure.
So during the first hour, I was encountering the hands and shoulders, and then during my entire arm. So
You were getting cold.
I was thinking if I wasn't seated correctly or I was doing something wrong, but then I realized the winds coming from the west, which is hitting my left arm. So that's the reason why.
It was freezing your arm.
Yes, it was freezing my arm. I wasn't really sure whether I'm pressing the brakes or not.
Yeah.
Those kind of stuff. So I was thinking that I can just shrug it off. So, but that's something that persisted. We were heading north.
Yeah.
Then heading west. I am now full head onto the wind.
Yeah.
So it's my.
So you got brain freeze.
A good thing it's around later in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's a bit hot compared to the morning where it's really.
Yeah, 6 a.m. It's still chilly out
Yeah,
there,
it
you
is
know.
chilly. It is chilly. So that's the initial. Of course, the undulating hills. It's always a challenge. We wouldn't find any of those in the Philippines.
Oh, so the Philippines is mostly flat.
Flat, or you go climb mountains.
Okay. You don't have the rolling hills of the Midwest.
Yes, based on my experience.
Yeah.
Based on the proximity of the courses.
Yeah, where you live. Yeah.
So that's a challenge because I was always try to pedal your way maybe for a minute and then descend.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful. You cannot be fast, reckless.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's gravel.
Yeah, you'll lose the downhills. You can't let your bike get out of control because then you would lose control and then crash.
And I was thinking I need to get the line. I need to find the line always. There are at least maybe a couple of lines on your left and on your right. You have to be precise. Find that line.
Yeah.
Especially going down.
And focus on the line.
Yes, focus on the line. I remember what you said. Find your line. Find your line. So there are lines that are there are descents that are really steep. I would see my Garmin going out of the descent. It would be around 50 kilometers per hour.
Oh yeah,
And I would feel it.
30 miles an hour. Yeah.
It was really fast. After the race, I saw that the highest speed that I reached is around 59, almost 60 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, that's close to 40 miles an hour.
Very steep descent.
Yeah.
So, but the adversity, the main adversity I'd say would be when my Garmin died around 196 kilometers, maybe 115 miles. So that's when everything kind of sucked because I blamed myself for not bringing the charger,
Power bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then
But I can't.
I
So it's like, okay,
blame myself for not being prepared on that one because you train hard
Yeah.
for everything, right?
Yeah, and especially when you come from so far away, you I know that you made a list and you had everything perfect, and there's always room for error.
Yeah.
There's always a little something, and even though we talked about preparation last time, we didn't really talk about electronics.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that's a difficult one because we rely on electronics to see how fast we're going and where we are on the course, like how far in we are. And when you have no information, it's kind of like you're going back to the primitive era, where we didn't have any of that stuff and we just rode by feel.
Correct. And 196 kilometers, that's around 50 kilometers away from the second checkpoint where my power bank is. So that's the most difficult 50 kilometers of my life because I didn't bring the battery pack because there's this chance of rain.
Okay.
I was worried that if I bring it all along, it might get wet, and then by the time that I need it, it's
Yeah.
So I just had to somehow think that okay, I might need it once I reach the second checkpoint.
Right.
Then that didn't happen. So yeah, I was blaming myself. Suddenly I felt tired. Suddenly
Yeah.
my
You
legs
got demoralized.
Yeah. My morale was time low during that.
Oh, that happens. You get the highs and then you get the lows, and you just have to push through all that stuff.
My tummy was acting up. Felt like I was going to bed so many times. I had to stop so many times. I would sit alongside horse and then just tuck myself in because it's still windy. It's in the afternoon. The cold wind started. So there were a couple of instances where when I fell asleep, actually just
Yeah. Took a nappy.
I was
You went Betty bye-bye.
Yeah, that's right. Before that, during the water races at 110 miles, people were lying down,
Yeah.
cramping,
Yeah.
feeling all the aches,
Yeah.
the bruises, and all this stuff. I was okay.
Yeah.
That's that Single Oasis. So I even sent a video to my wife and family members. So I went out of that second Oasis feeling okay.
Yeah.
Although a bit slower
Yeah.
compared to the initial phase.
Were your legs starting to
No.
get tight?
No.
Oh, nice.
Really okay.
Yeah.
I was up and about. Just took a couple of bottles of water, refilled it with ice, and then went on water oasis. So, not realizing that around 5 miles after water oasis, like
Your Garmin would die on you.
and then all of a sudden everything,
Yeah. Then it hit you.
then it is.
So did you eventually get the power bank for your Garmin and got back on your data mode?
Yeah. So I got my power bank at the second checkpoint.
Second checkpoint?
Again, which is around 50 kilometers away when it during those 50 kilometers, I had to rely on a fellow rider. I would ask people if I can tag along. So when Carmen died, they would agree. But maybe I was too tired. Maybe they're just too fast for me. So
Yeah.
I'd get dropped. And during intersections, I would be alone. I would have to wait. And that would be my time to rest.
Oh, okay.
Wait for people. I don't want to get lost.
Oh, okay.
So That's about it. Mostly for the 50 kilometers. I'm happy that the fellow riders would oblige when I asked them.
Oh yeah. Well, the gravel community is a pretty friendly community. So I've always felt that way. You know, it's like they're friendly people. If you crash or if you have a mechanical, there's always somebody that's going to stop and ask you whether you're okay, whether you have everything that you need. You know, so I mean, I've given water bottles away and food to people that needed it. So it's a very nice community. So.
Yep. There was this one time a guy went by. This was when I was taking a nappy, and he asked me, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not." And he said, "Hang in there, but we're almost there." Then I was really lucky to have this guy who named Steve. He's been doing Unbound for 6 times. That was his seventh. And I asked him, why is he so much? He's around 70, 68%. So he's still excited to do Unbound. That's his seventh time.
Almost 70 years old there. Yeah. Yeah, there was some pretty old people there, you know, very high up in age and still doing Unbound. Yeah.
Happy that got me inspired because I was with a ceiling on myself.
Yeah.
I will be doing this at a certain age.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But then when
You see that stuff, it kind of really opens your mind up, you know. That's awesome.
I was really thankful to Steve because it was around 30 minutes. And he was just pedaling by, trying to see if I can still tag along with him. So then there are a couple of others who did help. And I remember this woman named Karen. Somehow gave me that kick to reach the second checkpoint.
Nice.
Because he was pedaling fast, and then he would stop, and then he would wait for her friend,
Oh.
and then I'd be able to catch up. And then I mentioned to her that can I tag along my car instead, just until the second checkpoint. And somehow we found the
rhythm.
place. Yes,
You found the rhythm.
till the second checkpoint.
Nice.
She even offered her battery. She
Nice.
said that it's on the second checkpoint. I can use it. I said that I actually have my second checkpoint. So it was really
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah. People are generous out in the field. Yeah. I agree with you. So then as the race went on, you started off kind of fast at the beginning. Do you think that got you tired having a fast start? And did you then go slower and slower as the hours went by?
Definitely, I did go slower, especially during the time that when I didn't have my Garmin. So it's around 50 kilometers. Me, I think.
Your screen-free time.
Yeah. I think
that was a shop that was one of those south side shops.
just covered the 50 kilometers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's amazing.
I was really on the verge of giving up, but I wouldn't. I just had to.
Well, because you thought of your family waiting for you at the finish.
Yes. That's this one.
Yeah.
So that's the most difficult. And then in terms of the pacing, by the time I got the second checkpoint, it was really dark. It's around 9 p.m. 9 p.m. One of the guys from the support crew said, well, at least you get to ride at night. You don't experience that every day.
Yeah.
Which I did. So I imagine I said I need to cover around 50 miles, 80 kilometers.
In the dark.
In the dark.
And it's dark out there because there's no light pollution out there.
That's right.
Like in Chicago at nighttime, it never gets dark because there's so many lights. It just illuminates everything.
There
It's dark. It's black.
Yes.
Dark.
Yes, that's right. So I said to myself that at least cover that 80 kilometers in 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So which I did.
Nice.
Able to do. Because coming out of the second check, I think I got my second win or last
Yeah.
win or whatever.
Yeah. You
Seeing
got
my
a good
family-
wind.
Yes, seeing my nieces.
Yeah, and your
sort of my
family.
support crew, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, somehow it revived me.
Yeah, it brought you back to life.
Brought me back. So that last 80 kilometers or last
Mhm.
50 miles, it's faster than the 50
Yeah.
kilometers before that.
Yeah.
So even though we still got that rolling hills,
Mhm.
that muddy track,
Yeah.
rocky, chunky parts, of course, during the last
Mhm.
80 kilometers, somehow I was able to accomplish that goal.
Awesome. So that brings us. At what time did you end up finishing that?
Around 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Mm-hmm.
2 a.m.
Nice.
I was just thinking of finishing before the cut.
Yeah.
That's the reason why coming out of the second checkpoint, I had this target in mind.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me in 2011. We had a lot of mud and we had to walk a lot, and then we went through a town where all the arrows that were painted on the road had been washed away, so we got lost and we were going around in circles for a bit. And then after that, we started to run out of time, and then we had to time trial basically the last 25 to 30 miles at over 20 miles an hour just to make the cutoff. And then once we saw the illumination from Emporia, wow, that really got me excited, because then I said, there's a chance that we're going to finish on time. So then we were taking 30-second pulls with my friend, and then we finally came down and we were able to accomplish it. So seeing those lights up in the sky, you see like this glow, that's the greatest thing.
Yeah, that's also similar. Pitch black dark,
Mhm.
and then you have a glimpse of those lights.
Yeah.
Coming up,
Yeah.
and then you know that hey, you're almost there.
Yeah.
You cannot give up. So
And at that point, your body doesn't feel anything.
you just spend.
You're on remote control there.
Yeah. But I was just really surprised that right up until the end, it's mostly gravel.
Yeah.
They would even detour
Yeah.
just to hit some off road,
Yeah.
and then detour again off road instead of.
And did you go through Emporia University right before you came down the main drag, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's very nice. So we've had a really good chat here with Jonas.
Awesome.
Yeah. And did you have any questions for him, or?
You probably covered it.
Yeah.
I got pulled away and was actually working in the bike shop for a little bit, but I have the I can look forward to watching the interview and figure out. I'm sure you asked all the
we
pertinent
covered
questions.
nutrition, we covered the bike, we covered conditions, we covered the start, we covered the Garmin dying, and
I can't wait to I really want to hear about that.
The generosity of the gravel community helping him, and then just the what was awesome of all was to see the ups and downs that Jonas had through his 200 miles, and how he had some very low moments, and then he would dig himself out of those low moments and push to the next level. So that's the great thing about, doing these events.
It's kind of like life. Right? I mean, it's very much like, you just described life
into one day.
To 20, less than a day, right? 20 hours. And those the good moments and the bad moments. And, and even something as silly as having a little piece of tape on your handlebar and looking down, like you're really, I've been in those rides where you're like scraping for any kind of motivation that you can, because the sometimes the tank runs dry, and it's funny how the smallest thing can kind of
throw you off,
but it can also give you some adrenaline to kind of keep going, and it's I think a lot of cyclists know that, whether it's a 20-mile ride or a 200-mile ride.
Yeah.
I think for some people, some people need that kind of motivation just to get through a 20-mile ride. People that are starting, and you're up at the 200-mile mark. Are you, after doing this, are you interested in doing anything longer than 200 miles? Did this kind of spark any kind of motivation to do, some of these, there are races around the world now that are popping up that are 800 miles or 1,000 kilometers, and people are sleeping
Multi-day.
these multi-day similar events.
He's really thinking about
I'm about
it.
to say yes. I need to talk.
Oh, you need the okay.
Ask permission. But
You know what?
knows?
I'll tell you what. I have some friends in Spain. I have a lot of friends in Spain, and they're doing things like Badlands. If you haven't heard of Badlands, check it out online. And these are multi-day events. Lachlan Morton participates in some of these events, and they're out in the in southern Spain. And if you're ever up for doing one of those, we'll get together. And I'll make a jersey for you, and you can be our rider out at Badlands. And me and Ari will come out. We'll be your support. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, you'll have the best mechanics available.
Oh yeah, we'll drive around in a cool Euro van and meet you in the middle of the night and tell you to keep going, Jonas. So
maybe we'll even start smoking again.
yeah, we will, right? Yeah, Ducados. We'll be smoking Spanish cigarettes out there, but yeah, I mean, honestly, if you are up for it, we're up for it. We're up to support you.
That would be nice. And thank you for saying that. But
Yeah.
as we say in the Philippines, we need to get our visa approved by the wife.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Oh yeah, you're the wife approval. Tell her now you have a support team. We'll take you out to the Traca out in Barcelona.
That's a
Out
good one.
in Girona. So it's really just an excuse for me and Ari to go out and hang out in Spain. But yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Well, there's a little motivation for you. So
Well, thank you very much, Jonas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations, dude. Thank you
Yeah.
for your finish.
yeah.
And thank you for visiting us and coming back.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It's great to see you.
Supporting.
Yes, it was awesome. It was awesome to have you come in here and to do all this. So
Yeah, and thanks for being on
and your time.
and all of that.
Yeah,
so.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's it.
With all the Kansas.
With the real Kansas mud on the back. Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.